Alright guys, so today we're back with some hot 2v2 action. In this match we're going to have a showdown between the Wood Elves and the Tomb Kings, and we're going to be facing off against the High Elves and the Tomb Kings, although I guess the faction is technically the followers of Nagash. So I'm going to be joined by Paravox, who is one of the gentlemen here in the Discord. We're going to be playing some 40k tabletop simulator with his Necrons. Definitely going to be a good time. So hopefully you guys also enjoyed the 2v2 tournament that we had relatively recently, and I also wanted to use this video as a bit of a time to get feedback on that tournament. What did you guys enjoy about the tournament? What changes would you like to see? Do you want bigger brackets, or was that just the right size? I'm looking forward to potentially putting on another 2v2 tournament here in the next couple months, as well as potentially some 1v1 action. So again, if you guys have any thoughts or feedback regarding the recent tournament, make sure to let me know. And now for the tail of the tape. So for my army, I'm going to be providing the support element. So you can see I do have a Glade Lord up here with the Prey of Anathrama, 4 Way Watchers, which was a little bit tricky considering we're facing off against the High Elves. And the High Elves are probably one of the best factions for countering Wood Elf play. These Lothern Seaguard have silver shields, can definitely trade pretty effectively. I do have the range advantage, so let's go ahead and look. So as far as range, I have 190 compared to their 160, but it's still going to be tough because they can kind of just march forward and force you back. And, it's definitely a little bit trying. So we're going to be needing to get into those guys and potentially evade them. And if they do overextend and try and chase us down here, I should be able to net some value from the Way Watchers. But other than that, I need to be very careful. Aside from that, I have a couple of groups of Azrai Spears. So one here. And then I do also have a group of Wild Riders, which is pretty much essential. If you're going to be going with like a support build like this, you need to have some tools to fend off other skirmishing cav like Nehekar Warriors or Nehekar Horsemen, Skeleton Horsemen, even some of the Illyrian Reavers from these guys. On top of that, 2 Glade Riders with the Hagbane Tips to just poke and skirmish, take out some carrion, apply some poison to those high value targets, and that's pretty much it for my army. For my ally over here, Paravox, he's going to be going with a Tomb King's Death Star, so very traditional stuff. He's got spears in the front line, because obviously the answer to the large constructs are going to be, anti-large or large units themselves, monster mashing, other Necrosphinxes, perhaps a dragon. So having a very heavy contingent of Tomb Guards and Spearmen and things like that is definitely going to be solid. But aside from that, he has Archon on foot, he has a Necrotect, an Iro Titan, and the Sphinx Vusef here. So that's going to be some good stuff. So for our opponents who do unfortunately have the high ground, they have a couple groups of Carrion, which is definitely a pretty good choice. Very annoying for Way Watchers. They can waste ammunition, they can just fly after you, and they have really good melee defense if you look. It's actually, I think, 40, 46? Yeah, it's gonna take a while for them to go down in melee. For their front line, though, it's Spearmen and Lothern Seaguard. So you can see just this massive wall of spears and arrows, which is going to be very trying for both of us. They don't have the best AP option, so I think our Tomb Kings, big guys are going to last pretty long. Although it looks like in the back line, 3 groups of Ushabti Great Bows, including the Chosen of the Gods. So this is actually going to be really scary. Ark in the Black right here on foot as well for them with the Tomb Blade, so very similar composition in terms of leadership. They're just going to be using the Ark and Sword probably to heal these guys in the back. Dragon Princes for the High Elves as well. Oh, and it looks like in the forest, 2 Tomb Scorpions as well as a Necrosphinx. So this is just going to be a straight up monster mash. So without further ado, guys, let's get this show on the road. And also my ally over here, Paravox, does have a couple of groups of Carrion. It looks like in total he does have 3, as well as some Nehekar Horsemen on the far side of the map. So right now, realizing I did not want anything to do with this formation, I'm going to be scooting away. You can see the Arrows of Kurnus getting in there, and look at the damage those Arrows of Kurnus did from a side angle. So there's a lesson to be learned from this game already. In the meantime, Paravox is going to be pushing right up the center with his Iro Titan, his Skeletons, and he is just taking a ton of fire. You can see the Lothern Seaguard and the other troops are just basically just raining fire down on these Skeleton Warriors. Thankfully, they do have silver shields. They're not going to take a whole lot of damage. And you can also see my ally is going to be flying in with his Carrion and his other troops. This is great because rather than my elite troops and my squishy war dancers with Azrai Spears taking all this firepower, you can see our opponents definitely very well played here. Are positioning to screen me out, so I don't really have the best engagement. I've been corralled, and my ally is going to be taking the brunt of the damage in the front line. Very good pendulum going down right there. That was actually my branch wraith, so a ton of damage going down on those Lothern Seaguard and those Spearmen and some of those other troops. So that definitely is paying dividends here. Some Nehekar Horsemen for my ally getting into the back line, so they're obviously not going to be able to kill these Ushabti Great Bows, but they do get in there, and they're going to shut those guys down, which is going to take a ton of pressure off these these constructs here, who have Arcane Unforging. They're starting to take quite a bit of damage, and you can see the Libra Mortis is going down. So I'm trying to make my move and get up and around the formation. You can see some Dragon Princes are going to be pushing forward here. So obviously not an ideal engagement here, but thankfully the constructs are so sturdy in the front line, we should be able to endure. And I do get a Prey of Anathrama on those Dragon Princes. A little bit of a weird terrain slope here, so I'm not able to get the best firing volley on these guys, but it's still adding up, and we're getting a little bit of damage in on them. In the meantime, my Azrai Spears are just kind of supporting the back line, but there's the big juicy volley that we all know. And that is a ton of gold down the drain, getting rid of those Dragon Princes. And also my Illyrian Reavers and my Wild Riders, I'm going to be circling around the formation. And another Pendulum going down for my Branch Wraith, so let's see what this does here. And here it comes. So the Branch Wraith getting a good Pendulum, just going right through this massive formation of archers. So they were very bunched up to kind of screen me out with these regular archers, but I still do get some good Pendulum value. And that's probably been one of the only things I've really contributed henceforth, in conjunction with that Dragon Prince net right there. So I do get a Tempest cast on me, but I'm able to get away with my Glade Lord. You can see I'm squealing and just trying to run. Tyrion is going to be hunting my Branch Wraith, which is not good. The Branch Wraith is very, very squishy, and Tyrion is one of the best duelists in the game. So you can see my guys are trying to give Overwatch, but you'd think these elite High Elf archers would be a little bit more accurate, but they're not able to pin down Tyrion there, which is really depressing. So my Azrai Spears are coming up, and I'm advancing my forces, knowing that we did some pretty good damage back here, and things are looking okay. My Wild Riders also did get into the back, so I was trying to pressure and just clump up these archers to make the pendulums that much more juicy, and just basically allow my Wave Watchers to get in there and just melt these guys. So here comes the firepower, just doing a ton of damage to those Dragon Princes, and a very, very even battle. So if we take an overarching look at things, you can see my ally holding the front line with the spears. Bit of a wet noodle contest here with a bunch of High Elf and Tomb King and followers of Nagash. Another Pendulum going down, just wrecking those archers, doing a ton of damage. Now my Azrai Spears, I mean, we've done enough damage with the Pendulums that this formation is very softened up, so my Azrai Spears are going to rush in, and they will massacre these Lothern Seaguard in melee. There is a Tomb Scorpion here, but thankfully the Azrai Spears are basically specialists against those type of units. So the Dragon Princes have pulled back. They've gotten their Apotheosis. I also have gotten my Glade Riders with the Hagbane Tips in the back. My Wild Riders, realizing that we were really relying heavily on my ally's Iroh Titan and his Necrosphinx to hold the main line, like, I'm just going to send these guys back here and just do everything I can to shut down these Chosen of the Gods and other troops. Because basically, I mean, this Iroh Titan is tanking a lot. It's tanking the enemy Necrosphinx, a lot of his other constructs over here. And you can see that he does have his Necrotect here in pretty good shape. So the Necrotect is going to be providing really good buffs to the Iroh Titan, making him that much more durable. But Tyrion's coming in for that booty, so this is definitely going to be a little bit tricky. So now my Glade Lord's still flying around. Another Tempest coming down. It looks like it's going to slow me and do some good damage, so that was definitely nerve-wracking. And the Tomb Scorpion is now on the hunt. So you can see the Scorpion getting up and through, just a massive slow-mo beat down there of my Way Watchers. Tomb Scorpions are really, really gross with their attack animation. So we're going to need to fall back, get some Azrai Spears on this bad boy, and hope for the best here. So the Azrai Spears are now falling back, getting on the Tomb Scorpions, and I was like, okay, if I can get rid of the Tomb Scorpions, resecure my formation, I have a ton of ammunition left on my Way Watchers, and there's still, a lot of battle to be had, so I would love to get those guys back online. Some of my Eternal Guard are helping out in the front line, but you can see our opponents have kind of done a similar thing. So they reposition their archers away from, our point of pressure, and they're getting some really good volley, just whittling down our troops. But the front lines, again, like I said, just a massive wet noodle contest. But my ally Paravox here doing a very, very good job with Arc in the Black and his Iroh Titan, and some of these Summon Shopti he has here. So it's just a monster mash, but High Elf Spearmen are closing in. So we really weren't sure how much longer this mainline engagement would last. It's definitely extremely close. And the Chosen of the Gods and the other Shopti are just wasting my Glade Lord right now, so I kind of didn't give them the respect they deserve. And the Tomb Scorpions are applying a ton of pressure. So basically what I'm doing, and for any of you guys who have played RTS titles before, is it's what's called scooting and shooting. So you move, you take a shot. You move, you take a shot, because there obviously is reload time. So if during the time they're reloading, you're just moving, you're going to be kind of optimizing your movement patterns as well as your shooting. So right now, just shooting in here, trying to get as much damage as I can on Arc in the Black, just poking him, and actually getting some good work in conjunction with my ally Spirit Leech. So the enemy Arc in the Black taking some work. You can see all my Way Watchers are just kind of running from the Tomb Scorpions. And at this point, I was like, I need these guys to live, so I'm just going to be using my Hagbane Tips with their high mass to pin these guys down. Also, the Azrai Spears right here are able to engage with the Branch Wraith, and they're going to get that melee attack buff, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, you can see they're doing a lot of damage to that Tomb Scorpion, which I'm definitely pleased by. In the meantime, the Way Watchers are shooting into the Chosen of the Gods. This is a great engagement for me. There's some Dragon Princes just trickling in, actually 3 of them, who just broke, but we're getting some great exchanges. You can see the Way Watchers shooting in. Chosen of the Gods, you Shopti are going to get melted by Way Watcher fire, as that is one of the bigger counters to the Way Watchers on the Wood Elf roster, or to the Shopti Great Bows. So we're shooting in there, doing some pretty good work. Tyrion is in okay shape. It looks like he's going to be rallying over here, coming to help. These archers for the High Elves are running a little bit low on ammo. Again, in the front, still just a wet noodle contest. The Skeleton Spearmen holding their own, but it looks like our opponents have obviously won the frontline engagement to an extent. They just had so much more stuff. I mean, I brought mostly ranged. You can see Tyrion actually got a pretty good sword attack right there with his Sunfang that was able to roast a couple of my guys, but still we're able to actually pop Arc in the Black pretty good. He's running on foot here. He's just kind of squealing into the trees, and I do get my Glade Lord jumping on him, so hopefully the Glade Lord will be able to finish him off. It's definitely going to be tricky because there are archers and other threats here on the ground, so I don't want to stay too long. Arc in the Black uses the Tomb Blade, which is a massive heal, so you can see, I thought I could finish him here, but I actually had to pull back because I got lower HP than him, and he, of course, has the potential for taking me out. And the Tomb Blade still just, healing him up through that missile damage from my Way Watchers. And on that same note, our opponents are able to get the Tomb Scorpions in the back line. Tyrion's back here, so there's a whole nother wave of pressure, but this was a great catch. So Tyrion overextended a little bit, and I was able to get a surround with some of my War Dancers with Azrai Spears. You can see those arrows coming in, and Tyrion is just getting popped, and down he goes. So Tyrion falls to the Wood Elf forces. You can see the Azrai Spears in conjunction with the Waywatcher Fire was able to pin him down. And at this point, my ally and I were just like, okay, we need to secure this area. He's doing a great job holding the front line here with his Arrow Titan and his Necrotect, and his Arc in the Black are really just absolutely pimping it and just holding firm, while my Way Watchers and other troops are able to be kind of the precision strike, just taking out these high value targets and basically just trying to survive all these Tomb Scorpions. So the Tomb Scorpion here is getting low on leadership, -2, starting to crumble just a little bit in critical binding. We do also have the Branch Wraith, which is so good given that melee attack buff to my nearby troops. As far as my mobile troops go, I do have a couple of groups of Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips, and they do have high mass. So again, pretty good utility tool for pinning down these guys and letting my Way Watchers survive, but you can see the Tomb Scorpion just getting balls deep in some of my troops right there. So in the meantime, I'm going to be pulling back 27 Way Watchers here, 33 right there, and then also 24 Way Watchers right there. So we're just having a retreat. In the front line, just a very, very even fight. You can see this Arrow Titan still just an absolute monster. It's just holding, and obviously the Necrotect is going to be giving it missile resist. You can see it does have a, let's actually see what the actual missile resist. So it looks like it's 10%, which I think it gets from the Necrotect. So these very low AP archers are going to struggle, but it is getting low. The enemy Arc in the Black is coming out of the forest. He's still hidden. They have a caster here. Our front line is pretty much all but gone. I mean, our front line, my allies' front line. I didn't really bring much to the front line here. But in the back, we're able to kite out the Tomb Scorpion. You can see the Azrai Spears, and some of these other guys are just putting up a pitched fight right here, just doing the best they can. And one Tomb Scorpion is actually about to fall, and the other one is getting low as well. So I think the Azrai Spears should be able to finish it off, and one of the Tomb Scorpions does indeed crumble and explode to these Azrai Spears over here. So just an incredibly close fight. Still too close to call. Bounce of Power just dead in the middle, and you can see our opponents definitely very well played here. Do summon some of these Ushapti back here amongst my archers, which I was like, oh god, I gotta run, because these guys are just gonna monster mash. And you can see that the Way Watchers here are just getting cut to pieces by the Ushapti. And they also have 54 speed. They're actually poisoned, but I think their base speed is like in the 50s, so I need to get out of there quick. Kite and fight, but thankfully, Azrai Spears are very quick. 46 speed, they're able to get in there and pin down those Ushapti. We're still applying very good pressure to these Tomb Scorpions here, and I have another group of 29 who rallied, who should be able to honestly finish off this Tomb Scorpion. In the meantime, my ally just holding the front line, this Iro Titan just giving it, basically is all here. But I mean, other than the Iro Titan, once it's going to go down here, man, this thing is at 1,000 HP. I mean, there's archers shooting it, there's spears, anti-large, and those poking attacks that do 1 to 2 damage apiece, they add up over time. And you can see the Iro Titan is probably going to crumble here and go down. We will see here in just a moment. Let's see what his HP is. It's 300. Just getting a ton of damage in before he falls, but thankfully, my ally's Arc in the Black is in very good shape, just kind of holding it down. So Arcan is very tanky, believe it or not. He has 90 armor, and you can see the Iro Titan does fall. And let's see if he takes anyone with him. Man, look how metal his face is. That thing is just so heavy metal. So he's going to fall right now. Man, I wanted to give you guys a slow-mo fall, but that is the most long, dramatic fall I think that exists in the game. So down he goes, and just like he lived, which was slowly, he falls slowly as well. So the Necrotect and Arc in the Black are just holding it. You can see our allies' leadership is just hiding in the forest. So Arc in the Black and this high mage here just going to be kind of hiding and trying to endure. But the big problem for our opponents is they had a lot of their resources dumped into these archers who are now out of ammunition, but still they have Ushapti, they have a high mage, and honestly, we don't have too much left, so I'm going to need to get over there and help my allies Arcan. Thankfully, he does have the Staff and the Gash to improve and maybe get a couple more spells off, maybe another Spirit Leech on the enemy Arc in the Black, who's just cackling and hiding in the forest over here. So in the meantime, in the back, the last Tomb Scorpion does fall. You can see that those what are they called? The Azrai Spears are able to clean him up. So now we're just going to push forward and go for it, boys. So my archers are going to push in. You can see we're being screened out a little bit by the Lothern Sea Guard. So the Branch Wraith, I decided to just use the moves like Jagger and just waste as much ammunition as I could. And that's why you can see I'm pulling my Way Watchers over into the forest here. And they do have stock, so they're not going to be seen once they do get out of combat here. So we have won an engagement. Some of these Spearmen have shattered. And our Azrai Spears, we still have 40 models. We also have some of these Glade Riders. Only 17 of them who probably aren't going to win any beauty contests. But man, Arc in the Black is just such a monster. I mean, he's a great caster. He has healing, great AoE effects with that Libra Mortis. And he's also a very strong melee combatant. As you can see, he's not taking much damage at all from those Spearmen and stuff. So my Way Watcher is getting up in position. I was trying to hunt and see if I could find Arcan real quick, but we decided to just shoot in here. So just making sure to use all of my ammunition on these Ushapti Great Bows, who are going to be tough. I mean, they're still pretty good combatants here, but I am taking some fire from these Lothern Sea Guards. So I try and shut them down. The Azrai Spears are going to run in there and get some of their Wood Elf Karate on these Lothern Sea Guard. And it looks like my allies at Necrotech is also going to rush in and potentially shut them down. And you can see we're shooting in. We're trying to get Arkin the Black, but he's doing such a good job hiding in the trees here that we're not able to pick him off. Oh, yes. The Duel of Fates. Arkin versus Arkin. So we're going to see who wins this glorious showdown. But it looks like our Arkin does get trapped by all those archers, which is so tough. But our Azrai Spears coming in the fourth quarter and actually buckling these spearmen here on the far side, shattering them. So now we have this massive pressure from these War Dancers. A little bit sloppy on my part, letting them overchase those guys. But you can see I quickly do rally them there. And thankfully, the Way Watchers are very strong in melee. I mean, they are not pushovers. And you can see the Azrai Spears coming in. The enemy Arkin gets pinned. So he's crumbling. Our Arkin the Black's in good shape, and the Azrai Spears are going to come in and clean him up, no problem. So you can see Arkin the Black is not long for this earth. 67 HP, and down he goes. So we finally get him. And you can see the High Magic Mage is now crumbling, and they are going to suffer army losses. So very well played. That was an incredibly close game, just back and forth. And man, that was a fun one to cast for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown here. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that, my Tomb King ally Paradox here carried most of the weight in the front line. Was able to do a very good job in just sustaining. I mean, Arkin and the Necrotech did so good. We were able to maneuver around the flanks, slowly pick apart some of the mobile forces. We took the Tomb Scorpions on, and obviously a lot of the monsters from the Tomb Kings were chasing my forces. So we were able to kind of, wear those guys down over a long battle. But honestly, it could have gone either way. Their Tempest play was good. The High Elf Archers were just a menace. And I think a couple very good Pendulums as well were also key to success. But yeah, very well played to everyone involved. Thanks to Paravox for playing the game. And we got Bobby91 over there and Majin as well. So thanks to you guys for playing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2v2. And again, any thoughts you guys would like to see, let me know if you liked the structure of the previous 2v2 tournament. I definitely think it was fun having it offline. So there was kind of this long story arc going on. And also it was a little bit easier to get that many players together. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. And we will see you guys next time.